Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can do the unit testing in .NET with the help of XUnit framework. Before I go ahead, if you are new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe and like this video if you love the content. Let's jump into it. I'm going to open Visual Studio Code. If you have seen my previous video talked about repository design pattern, there I have used a project called LinkedIn Learning. If I expand this one, you see I have a controller called course controller. Here I have a couple of methods: get all, get, post, put, delete. I'm gonna write unit test cases for these methods. Let's see how to do that. I'm gonna close this one. Right click on this solution. Click on this new project. I'm gonna type XUnit, enter. I'm gonna name this as LinkedIn Learning.tests. I'm gonna press enter. It will be default directory. Create project. Once it is created, I'm gonna close this one, expand this, expand dependencies, expand packages. You can see I have around 4 packages. Coverlet.collector that is used to do the code coverage, as well as if I have one more package, I can generate a report on that. I have Microsoft.NET.test.sdk, XUnit, XUnit.runner.visual studio. I just want to make sure I have latest version of all these packages. I'm going to go to Google Chrome. I'll just bring this here. Or else I can right click on this, update NuGet package. You see 6.0.4 is the latest one. I'm going to click on this one. It will update the package to the latest one. Also, right click on this, update NuGet package. You see 17.13.0 is the latest one. Click on this, right click, update NuGet package. 2.9.2 is the latest one. 2.9.3 is the latest one, I believe. I'll just make sure. XUnit NuGet package. Yeah, 2.9.3 is the latest one. Right click on this, update NuGet package. Click on this one. Right click on this, update NuGet package. 3.0.2 is the latest one. I'll update this too. Once these are all updated, what I'm gonna do, right click on this, build. You see? Just wanna make sure XUnit 2.9.3. Yes. Coverlet, latest one. XUnit, latest one. Visual Studio is also the latest one. Great. I'll come to this class. I'm gonna rename this as course controller test. Just rename this to course controller test. Perfect. We'll save. Control B. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create a constructor, CTR. Okay. This will be a default constructor, course controller test. Above this constructor, I'll say private read only of course controller, course controller. I'll just add a reference to this project. I click on this one, add project reference, LinkedIn Learn. Okay, close this one. Now if I do control dot, you see, yes. Then private read only of. Before that, I just want to install one more package. I'll expand this one. I'm gonna go back to Google Chrome, search for mock. Click on this one, copy this one, 4.20.72 is the latest one. Come to my terminal, paste it. I'll see open in integrated terminal. I'll see, paste it. Yes, it is installed. I'll close this one. I'm gonna type here mock control dot using mock. I generate a repository. Mock generic repository. The reason why I installed mock NuGet package is to simulate the dependencies. I'll say here mock generic repository is equal to new mock generic repository. Course controller is equal to, I'm gonna inject this object to course controller. Okay. Then you see here I have course controller, here I have mock generic repository, and then I created a mock object here. Then I injected that mock object to course controller. It's time for us to write the unit test cases. You see here, I'm gonna write a unit test case for this method getAll. I'll say fact attribute doesn't accept any input parameters. It is straightforward. I'll say public synchronous of task getAll should return OK result if courses are available. Okay. Here I'm gonna follow AAA pattern. What do you mean by that? AAA stands for arrange, act, and assert. I'm gonna do arrange. That means I can initialize an object, setting up variable, or I can prepare any necessary dependencies. Pair of courses equal to new list of course. Here I'm gonna add these two courses to this variable. Then mock generate repository dot set up. What this does, it helps me to mock the methods inside generic repository class. G of G dot, you see, I have all the methods coming up here. G dot get all asynchronous of course returns synchronous of courses. Then I'm gonna do act, that is variable of result is equal to await course controller dot get all course controller dot get all. Okay, then I'm gonna do assert. Assert dot is type of okay result of result. So okay result, sorry, okay object result. That means I received 200 as status code with a response on it. If this particular method is success, then you see green tick on it. Okay, I'll come here. You see I have LinkedIn learning.test. Expand this one. I'll save this. Right click on this one. Close. I'm gonna build it again. So you see the latest method name. Yeah, you see course controller test. It all should return okay result if courses are available. Close this one. I'll go back to course controller test. I have courses. When this calls get all, inside get all, I have get all asynchronous, that is from generic repository. Since I simulated that here, it's gonna return these two courses, and since everything is successful, it's gonna give us okay object result. I'll just run this one and show you. Right click on this one, run test. You see there will be a green tick. That means this is success. Do close this one. Similarly, I'm gonna write another test method, the attribute theory. When I use theory, I can able to send input parameters to those methods so that it can run multiple times with different inputs. Line data of 1, comma C sharp. Okay. Public asynchronous task get should return okay result courses available. Okay. Here I'm gonna receive two parameter, int of ID and string of name. Okay. I'm gonna type here arrange, people of course, new course, ID equal to the ID that I receive, name is equal to name. Okay. Act, for that I just wanna mock the method generic repository dot setup g dot get synchronous of course. I'm gonna pass ID. Okay. That returns asynchronous of course. Act, variable of result is gonna be get, and then assert of okay object result. Okay. Let's say this is a positive case. Let's talk about negative case. Let's say if I pass 0, I'm gonna have one more method. Theory, inline data of 0. Okay. It's gonna be public synchronous of task get should return not found. So if course is not available, int of ID. Okay. I'll say arrange mock generic repository dot setup. Sorry. Setup g dot get asynchronous of course, nullable course ID returns return asynchronous of null. Okay. Then I'm gonna type act result dot get ID. I'm gonna search dot is type of not found result. It won't be not found object result since I'm not sending anything along with 404 status. So just not found result. Okay. Then I'm gonna before that, yeah, I'm gonna fact public synchronous task post should return created result if course is added. Okay. Our range will be request new add course request. If you take a look at the course controller here, I used to receive this add course request as payload from front end. So that's why if I go there, you see, go to implementation, you see I'm receiving a name. So here I'm gonna say name is equal to Swift, for example. Okay. Course is equal to new course of d is equal to 3, name is equal to dot name. Okay. Mock generic repository dot setup g add asynchronous of course. I'm gonna send that returns task of completed task. Okay, because if you see there, I'm not add asynchronous, I'm not sending anything back to the post method. It just set the context and save it. Okay, then I'll say at result perfect post of request. Then it's gonna be okay. Then it's gonna be range act cert for this one. Cert dot is type of created result from result. Okay, this is good. Let's say if I am not sending any payload at all, that time it has to give me bad request result, right? So let's say fact public synchronous task of yes post should return bad request result if request is empty, or you can say null, for example. Okay, just leaving it as it is. Arrange, let's say add course request is null. Okay, I'll just say mock generic repository dot setup dot add asynchronous of course new course that returns task from exception that is nothing but bad request. Okay, so task dot from exception, it's going to be new exception of bad request. Cut, paste it here. Okay, then I'll say act controller post request. Okay, cert dot is type of bad request result of result. Okay, so if this one gives me an exception, then it's gonna give me bad request result. Okay, then let's I'll come to put part. Here I'll say theory because I'm gonna send a couple of input parameters in data. One of C sharp. Let's assume I'm changing the C hash to C sharp. Okay. So for that, I'm doing a update request. Public asynchronous of task put should return no content result if course is updated. Int of id and it's gonna be string of name. Okay, I'll do command k command f. Okay, here I'll say arrange request is equal to new edit course request. You see there for put I'm receiving id as route param as well as receiving payload from front end. Right click on this one, go to implementation, you see I'm receiving name. The reason why I created the same property with two different classes is to show you the difference. Otherwise, I can create it in a single class itself. And come back to test. Okay, in this one, let's say I'm renaming name to she. Stop that. Say name. Okay. Command K, command F. UC fact should return created result. Okay. Inline data. It's gonna give me one C sharp. It's gonna give me all courses. It's not gonna give me anything. It's gonna give me created result. Okay, everything is perfect. Edit course request, name of name, mock generic repository dot setup g dot data synchronous of course. Okay, course returns again task dot completed task. Okay, and let's say course is equal to new course. Command K command F id is equal to id that I receive, name is equal to name. Okay, save it, put a semicolon at the end, act result is equal to await course controller dot put, or I'm going to send id and request. Okay, assert will be the dot is type no content result. Okay. And then theory of or okay, I'll say here theory line data of one public asynchronous task put should return bad request result if course is if request is empty. Okay, int of id, because if you see there, if I don't have a payload, then I used to give them bad request. Okay, so I'll say here command k command f, come here, we'll say arrange edit course request. That means I'm not sending any payload. Okay, course is equal to new course, id is equal to id, and I'll just put this as 0. In any of the databases, usually there won't be a row with id as 0. Okay, it is equal to id name. I'll say okay, let it be command k command f, and I'm gonna mock the method set up g dot update asynchronous of course. Okay, let's assume I'm sending null. For example, if you take a look at here it experts us to send course object, but instead I'm just sending null. That returns task from exception of bad request. Okay, result is equal to course controller dot put. Okay, that's go assert dot is type of bad request result. Then I'm gonna pass that result as parameter. Okay, this is good. Then finally I'm gonna create a test method for our delete function. Line data of 0, not 0, 1, public synchronous of task delete should return no content result if course is deleted. Okay, command k command f, here gonna type arrange mock generic repository dot setup g dot delete synchronous of course by I say here int of id. Okay, id returns task dot completed task range act and assert result equal to await course controller dot delete of id. Okay, then I'll say assert dot is type no content result of result. Okay, because you see there when I delete, after that I used to say no content. Okay, that's good. I'll just remove this unuser import. Okay, everything is okay. Good. I'll close this one. If I come back to this test, you see if I build it again, you see all the test methods available there. Build, come back to this one. Okay, yeah, you see everything. There, I'm gonna clear all results. Close this one. When I run all the tests again, you see everything will be passed. Okay, one is failed. Why it is failed? What it is saying? Bad request result, action result. Set dot is type of. Okay, I forgot to put a wait for this one. I'm expecting bad request result, but it is giving me type of task of action result. Okay, so I'll just build this one again, go back to testing, only one test failed. Okay, click on this one, clear all results. Once this is done, close this one, right click, run test again. So you see everything is passed. Also, I'll clear this one, clear all result. I'll just do the code coverage. Right click on this one, run test with coverage. You can see our course controller is 100% test coverage. Having 100% code coverage in course controller doesn't mean that this controller is bug free. It's my responsibility to ensure that I am writing valid unit test cases. Even though if we can't able to cover 100% code coverage, if I have valid unit test cases, then it should be fine. If I go to course controller or CS, you see all these green lines indicates that these are all covered by test. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you like it. If you have any doubts on this one, please feel free to put it in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.